heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations and languages, fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king set up.
So
Different languages.
See-
Everyone.
see the same thing what I'm trying to show you. We didn't even look at that when you were studying it
For real, I
on
just
Sunday.
seen that.
Different languages. Just like how it was a national thing, or just like how it was a thing that everybody, because remember Babylon was the king, was the rule of the then known world at that time. So basically, it's basically the whole world
Yeah.
at that time was focused on this image,
And only 3.
and only 3 stood. So, just like how it was a universal thing for the people at that time, it's going to be a universal Sunday law. And just like how it was, worship was the issue. Because what Satan really wants,
Worship.
he wants worship. As a matter of fact, don't mind us playing with Satan, and we dibbly dabbling in his face. Satan don't love a single soul inside this place. He wants you to fall. He wants you to be discouraged. He wants you to obey him. He wants to get the revenge from God, because he wants your obedience. And the thing about it is, to whom you yield yourselves servants, to whom you yield yourselves to obey, his servant you are. So if Satan could get us to disobey God, if we disobey God, what is now? If we disobey God, whose voice we listening to?
Satan.
The voice of Satan. So therefore, who controlling us?
Satan.
Who got the hand behind the puppets? Satan. All right. So Satan, that's what Satan wants to do. Control our minds, control our hearts. He wants to have the reign of our
And that's
lives.
the difference between him and God too, because God don't try to control us. He just asks, but Satan wants to have full control.
That's serious, that's deep. Praise the Lord for that. And the thing about it is, I just pray that God would have control over our hearts even now.
Okay, and then we have this state and religion will come together. Daniel 3 verse 3 and 8.
Then the princes, the governors, the captain, the judges, the treasurer, the counselor, the sheriff, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldean came and accused the Jew.
They all them mixed up in there. You know the Chaldean? Chaldean. Let's research it. Let's see what it say. Chaldean. I think that's someone who deal with the religious service or whatever. Chaldean. Let's see.
And then obviously the princes and governors and stuff, all of them were for the state.
Yeah, the state. We see state. Chaldean. But when we look at Chaldean,
And all of them were coming against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
when we look at this, everyone who was anyone was there. And think about this, I mean, if you have a king deals with stately affairs. You need the priest, or the high priest, or at least the reverend, to deal with worship issues. But think about this, it was a thing where it was mixed, it was intertwined. The king representing the state was mixing with worship. In other words, it was religion and state mixed together. And plus you see the Chaldeans. You find out what it is? Chaldeans.
It's saying member of ancient Semitic people. A member of ancient Semitic people who lived in Chaldea in southern Babylonia, where they were the dominant ethnic group during the 8th and 7th centuries before Christ. It don't really say if they were for the church or anything like that.
Let's see. Because I know when Nebuchadnezzar had the dream, he gone and he asks,
A person versed in the occult arts.
oh, a cult. You know what cult means, right?
Yeah.
Cult means worship.
Yeah.
This one says, of or pertaining to Chaldea specifically or ancient Babylonia in general.
Like how they say a cult, that is mean like religious stuff.
Yeah, because cult means worship.
Yeah.
That's why they call Seventh Adventist cult. But cult actually means worship, dealing with worship issues. But we know that the Chaldeans and the Chaldeans, you had the Chaldeans and you had Nebuchadnezzar the king, and then all them were just mixed together up in one hot soup. Just like how you're gonna be when this National Sunday they all come together. We're gonna see Islam, we're gonna see Buddhists, we're gonna see
Indians.
Christians, you're gonna see Indians, all of them mixed together in one hot soup to make this National Sunday all come together. But the thing about it is, it will come, The image will be set up. As a matter of fact, it's being set up right now. As a matter of fact,
Can I say something?
yeah, I'm not free.
Before the destruction of Jerusalem, right? Jesus gave a sign to the disciples in Matthew 24, verse 15, I think. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So they were supposed to leave Jerusalem before the armies came back. And today, I don't understand completely, but I think something happened in 1888 with the Sunday law, and now is the time to leave out of the cities. So, yeah, we have to...
You trying to show
Yeah,
the
we were
comparison.
supposed to be gone from then.
You mean country living?
Yeah.
And the thing about this, I mean, even as I look at this book before me, it say the first Sunday law, and this talking about when this actual Sunday law came into play, and it says the earliest recognition of the observance of Sunday as a legal duty is a constitution of Constantine in 321 AD, enacting that all courts of justice, inhabitants of towns, workshop was to be at rest on Sunday, with an exception in favor of those engaged in agricultural labor. Encyclopedia Britannica, 9th edition, Article Sunday. Now, what's this now? This is the earliest Sunday law, but lately there have been Sunday laws all around the world. People prohibiting that, and you even see now people saying, we need a Sunday law, we need a Sunday law, we need a Sunday law. Even in the Bahamas, believe it or not, right inside the Bahamas, I can't remember. Brother Paul had the article in a newspaper where they were saying that that people breaking God's law, breaking the law by shopping on Sunday in the Bahamas. They was ready to pass it, but the thing about it is, it wasn't time, because we still got a message to proclaim, and we still got a message to preach.
Because everybody in the Bahamas don't know it yet.
Continue.
The majority would disobey God and only a few would stand. You can find this in Daniel chapter 3 verse 10 and 12 through 18.
So, Daniel chapter
3 verse 10 and 12 through 18.
Thou, O king, hast made decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image.
And then 12 through 18.
There are certain Jews whom thou hast sent over the affairs of the province of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are these men. O king, have not regarded thee that serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, thou ye not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up. Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, saltatory, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast in the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king of Nebuchadnezzar, We are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine land, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
And like you said before, only 3 stood for Jesus, and the rest of those bowed down.
For wide, I go again. For broad is the way.
Wide is the gate,
To destruction.
And broad is the way.
Well,
Mark chapter 7.
13 and 14.
Let's read it.
Enter ye into the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way, which leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go therein. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth into life, and few be there that find it.
Praise the Lord. For what? For straight, and he had the straight gate. So it's wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be. So even when we look at this now Sunday law, it's going to be a same thing. The majority will fall. The majority will fall.
you even see that like in school and stuff, when you see the majority get in trouble. Like if the majority doing something, then that's the majority that would get in trouble with the teacher or something like that, and then it would only be like 2 in the class who don't get in trouble.
Who be quiet.
Yeah.
Who been talking? Everybody been talking. And you have this one child or this 2 child who won't say a word. And there's it's the same thing as when we look at our soul salvation. The question is, will we be in that little few who decide to follow Jesus all the way?
But just like you were saying, right, we need a faith that where we will not bow down even if God doesn't deliver us, because how they said in verse 18, but if not, you still have to, you have to have a faith where you will still serve God even if
He doesn't.
if you were not delivered.
Praise the Lord.
There will always be punishment or consequence during this time. Of Daniel chapter 3 verse 20.
Daniel chapter.
And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Yeah. And I think like in these last days, when they do something, now I can imagine the amount of punishments they give us.
And now they can high tech with it.
Yeah, I think they said they heard about this new thing that they made for prisoners, like when they're on what is the name?
Trial.
No, when they're on death row. Like instead of them putting the needle in their hand, because they say they don't use nurses because that's against the nurse will to actually kill people. So when they just have guards doing it who only do it once in a while, they say like 2 people actually didn't die from it. It either hurt them really bad or they went into a coma or something like that. So they now making this thing where we're like numbing their neck and just chop off their head. They wouldn't feel it. And they're making that for the people who on death row now.
They had an incident with a man when they gave him the needle, and he stayed alive for 22 minutes.